That's a
Maybe I
good
should start
thing.
recording.
That's a Yeah, that's a good thing right there. That's something that the military teaches is basically adapt and overcome. And I was reading something earlier right along the same lines of that. It's like I know we had a blab recently or a broadcast talking about like beat block and producers block and stuff like that. And I was
That's
reading
right.
something and it was like saying pretty much like you go in every day and you do something, whether you got beat block or not. You just go in there and you do something, whether it's going to be hot or it isn't going to be hot. You don't make the choice on whether it's going to be hot. You go in there and you get something done. And then, you know what I'm saying, you can come back later on and, you know what I'm saying, fix whatever problems you may have occurred right then and you didn't have that inspiration, you know what I'm saying, to do.
That's it, word. Absolutely. Sip, high your mic up a bit.
Turn it up some more.
Tiny bit.
How about now?
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, just so we
Okay.
sound on the same level, then, because you're a little bit quieter than Wax and I. Yeah, so I totally agree with that. So that's good. You know, principles in general. You know, no matter what happens, you just deal with it. And I think what Sip was saying there was in terms of sort of everyday workflow is going to the studio, and if things aren't going right, then it doesn't matter. You just get on with it. You just stick to your plan and you focus. And again, this is why we're doing this blab. You know, it sort of fell through the last minute thing, but no, you know, it doesn't stop us. We refocus and we go, okay, what's the problem? Well, this is a problem that can happen to any other beat team. With us, if you don't know who we are, we're the infamous Foreign Sound Society, and we're based in different countries and different continents throughout the world. And we cooperate and we create beats and we produce artists and up-and-coming artists. And this is a problem that we find, although I'm here in the UK, in Europe, Wax is in Canada, in North America, in Canada, and Sip's in North America as well. But then we've got Mo Vincent Productions, which is all the way down to the south, which is where the floods happened. And we incur these kind of problems. But the fact that the team is sort of knocked for six at the moment, we just continue and we try and do something to overcome that. So we thought we'd share that with you guys. Other natural disasters as well that are quite frequent and quite common, more so over in Canada and North America, are blackouts. And Wax experiences quite a lot of blackouts. I don't know if you want to talk about that, Wax.
We've actually, in my area, we've actually had 3 burnouts this year. And even from like the time I moved into this house, which would be almost a year and 3 months now, we've probably had 5 burnouts. So,
yeah,
like just for me alone, like one of those times I could have been working on something very important, and I've been looking at a backup power supply for a while, but just haven't had the money to go and get it.
Yeah,
but it's one solution to that problem of burnouts is having that backup power supply, or even some kind of solar power system, something like that, just for your studio.
Yeah, well, here in the UK, solar power is all the rage. The government was providing incentives for normal people to have solar panels fitted on their houses. So that's a great way to go if you sort of tap into that and you manufacture or capture your own, electricity through the sun. That's a great way to make sure you power your studio through that, and then you'll never have lack of power. That's going to be something that's going to become more frequent here in the UK, are blackouts. As obviously everybody's now charging iPads, iPhones, and other mobile devices. It's draining a lot of the juice from, the national grid and things and the electric network in general. So, to guys out there with studios, I mean, myself included, I've got all these synths, machines, outboard gear. It's all on surge-protected circuits and stuff. In case there is a blackout, then the fuses would blow first on the surge gear or on the boards or anything like that, and flick fuses before it would affect any of the gear. But even so, you've got a massive inconvenience if you do have a blackout. What happens to your work? So I suppose we could talk a little bit about workflow and what we do to prevent that. Wax has mentioned, supplies.
Also, back on the power before we go off it,
yeah.
If you do think about it, you don't want your studio to be onto the power grid of that city or wherever you are. So if you did have a solar power system that was running your studio, you're totally off the grid. You can have that power as long as you want it.
That's right. That's right. No, that's great. Is that because if everywhere goes down, then no, you've got time to at least continue working, or at least have a few minutes to deal with any problems like backup files or switch gear off that's important before you lose the whole thing. Especially what you don't want is you don't want to be mid-recording session, in mid-flow, whether you're creating a beat or recording vocals, or if you're recording some authentic or some instrument that requires miking up. The last thing you want is to be working away in the moment and then suddenly the power cuts. That's a real groove killer, is that. So if you can actually make some ways to back up power, that would go a long way. I don't know, Sip, you have something to add? I can't hear you, Sip.
Oh, my bad. I turned that down. My bad. I said, and even if that's just a temporary, say for instance, you got an extra 30 minutes of power, and you can just get everything saved and get to a good save
That's
point,
right.
and what I'm saying, have that continual workflow when you step back in it, or you get your power back up. That's definitely
absolutely.
They got some good hubs out there for that.
I also heard that if you can make power going to the power grid, they cut you a check for that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the things here in the UK that's been happening. And when initially the idea came about and the benefits or incentives from the government, was you could get a lot more money for the amount of wattage, which is how electricity is measured, that you feed back to the national grid. Since then, they've actually cut down a lot of that. So you don't get as great a deal as you could. But the people at first originally installed it about 3 to 4 years ago are laughing, really, because they've got a set tariff to something ridiculous, like 12 pence a watt or something.
Yeah.
Which now you get a fraction of that, which is like 1 or 2p or something like that, or even less. I don't really know. So, yeah, sometimes those kind of systems are great. But even so, if you're feeding it back into the grid more than what you're getting, it's free energy, basically. You're capturing it from the sun. So it is expensive to set up these systems.
Exactly. But you make your money back over time, If
exactly.
You'd make your money back right away.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good. It makes good business sense.
Definitely a cash cow if you have the money.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Another I was about to carry on. I feel y'all that power and we got two down basically. We got the power and we got natural disasters.
Yeah. In America,
I was about to go to the next topic. I was thinking because I know it ain't nothing, but I was thinking like competition or whatever. Like we get in the mind state of competition. We got competitors and humans being competitors by nature. Like say for instance, you get into a team, and then like you already a competitor in the beginning. Period. No matter who you are, you're a competitor. And then when you become a team member, you gotta learn how to redirect that competitive nature into something beneficial for a team. And
totally.
You have to understand that we have that competitive nature.
That's it. No, but that's a good point, because that's quite a good segue into one of the points that I've got, which is communication. What we've encountered in our time of being together is basically we all started out as individual producers and individual artists that have come together for creating this super team of producers. And basically we've got our own ways of working, and sometimes that gets lost in translation. I mean, we've had a couple of issues between us that we've ironed out, which is, some things are being said and the other party or one of the producers hasn't quite understood what it was that we were saying, and it's been lost a little bit in translation through the internet, glitches in network, that kind of thing. It drops a word or something.
Also, and understanding because when you get into a team environment, people from different locations, one word to me could mean one thing, and
Exactly.
to these other people, it could mean a whole different thing.
Like
Yeah,
dog,
absolutely.
like dog.
Yeah.
Dog's bad to you, right?
Yeah.
Like if
Yeah,
someone
it
called
can
you
be
dog,
in
is it
America.
bad to you or
Yeah.
something? Whereas like us over here in Canada, yo, my dog, what's up? It's cool to us.
Yeah.
In the UK,
Yeah,
man,
exactly.
we don't like that. They don't play that, man.
No, that's right.
It's
Yeah,
the worst
it-
thing
it's-
you
it's
could
a
call them.
Absolutely, but that's why it works really well. But when you're working in multicultural, team like this, because it's all about communication. So, by the time that you get together as a team of producers like us, you've already got, we've nailed our business. We've got our business down to a T. We've already got contracts in place, non-disclosure agreements between us all. So that goes a long way to be able to talk freely between one another. And what one doesn't understand, you don't fall out and run out and start crying and start dissing one another. You talk about it, you talk it through, and you're in a complete safe environment, not the point of, I'm not telling you something because you're not telling me something. No, you've already got the non-disclosure agreement in, so you can speak freely. And that obviously, helps communication, and that makes big difference when you're not sure what's being said, that you can openly converse and rectify any kind of problems and make it a positive advantage. And that's what that's one of the things that we've actually done, and I'm sure other beat teams out there will find the same thing, and not necessarily multicultural teams like ours, but people in the same country and possibly in different states, or even in the same state, and to the certain point to the same hood, same neighborhood. Right. You can have that. So communication is king, So if you're in a team and you're having a problem, then talk, man. Get an NDA in place, and then you can feel free to talk, and no risk of someone's going to run away with the ideas or something like that. So communication is good, and it builds a stronger foundation to a good team. So I think that is key, and obviously, with the NDAs, you build trust, and trust is the absolute foundation, the fundamental of any teamwork, of any project. If you guys have got good trust, then you'll go a long way together, What do you guys think about that?
I totally agree.
Yeah. Cool. Other things, what other problems have we encountered, Wax? Server problems. You discussed that.
Yeah, server problems. Not having the proper knowledge, I would say. Lack of knowledge with the devices and stuff that you might be working with. Make sure you know what you're doing with them. I happened to run into a situation where I thought I could just change from RAD 1 to RAD 0, wipe the whole hard drive. Now I have to go pay to recover the hard drive, which is a setback to not only me, but the whole team,
Yeah.
But it's a good learning experience, costly one.
Yeah. Well, we should point out to. Sorry, Sip. Go ahead, Sip.
I was saying that will fall under the category of time and money. That's another complication that you have out there is time and money.
Absolutely.
Sometimes you might not have enough. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, we should point out to the listeners that but how we work, it was probably a good place to start, and why the server is relevant. Our server's over in Canada with Wax, and basically how we work is we do our beats on our own machines or in our own studio. Once we've done beats, then we upload it to a server, and hence that's the problem of and what it allows us to work like this across different countries is the beats go up on the server, and then they get sent out, or whoever downloads a beat works on a beat, and then it goes back up. So the problem with us having the server, when the server goes down, it means that we can't share beats. It means that we what I've done, or what Sip's done, or Tone, or Vincent's done, or what Wax has done, means that none of the others can access that particular work. So the way that we've just got around that is just by good workflow and good work practice and best practices. By whenever you do a beat, always make sure you have a backup of that beat, A, on your own computer, and B, if you can afford it, because some of the beat teams out there are quite young and don't necessarily have as much financial freedom as what we have as a team. get an external drive and always save your files to that external drive. So then if a problem does occur, for example, a server goes down, then we have a backup of that already within our drive. So we could all pull together and just re-upload all those beats again. But then as well, when it's downtime on the server, then we can still work on our own stuff on our machines, and we can still share files, but it's not as easy as using a server. I mean, we've gone to the expense because of a security issue, but you can always use, a Google Drive or a Dropbox to share files, and a lot of beat teams do that and have their beats somewhere on the in the cloud somewhere. But we like to keep our beats and look after it. And this is,
Right.
one of the problems or risks that we have about having a server. That if we want to clean the server or we want to move something, that sometimes without the knowledge or not realizing it, you can press the wrong button and then, something happens. But in this case, it's all taken care of and we just get on with it. There's no loss of work. It just gets recovered and recopied.
Not only this little issue with the server, there's like you got to run scan disk on it. You got to make sure your drives are in order. Got to make sure there's no viruses on it, eating it up. No malicious files on it. There's a lot that goes to it. Lots of maintenance.
That's it, yeah. It's important to keep a clean desk, really. We have a no mess, desk policy, really, which applies to the server, where, we have files and folders and things, but everything's all neatly tucked away. And obviously, the neater your worktop is or your work desk, in our case, which is the server, then easier it is to find files. There's nothing worse than just throwing loads of files, I mean, imagine there's 5 producers here that are creating a massive group of work that we upload daily. That's anything between 1 to 5 beats a piece daily. These are worked beats ready to go to whoever. We do a lot more ourselves, 10 to 15 normally. But say 5 beats go up on the server. Imagine all those files that would go up there with it. So, sample files or anything you've recorded, you'd have thousands of files there every day. And imagine the mess it would be if it wasn't neatly structured in folders and things like that. So, that's important to get that workflow right.
And
but,
we do have a file structure and policy, and we do follow it. And I think that's what benefits.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's great. And I think that's really great as part of individual producers that we've brought, together as a team. It's like some of us have said, we need this to be structured this way. Others have said, no, we do it this way. Yeah, we can all upload beats to here. We can work from here. So working as a team has a lot of benefits for us. Right. You learn quicker. You share ideas. You share education. Which leads me to my next point. Which is something that absolutely. Well, because you can talk about beats, you can talk about what's good, what's bad, and it's all positive energy, as Jay Phil would say. Shout out to Jay Phil of verysickbeats.com. It allows you to be free, and it allows you to grow as an individual producer and as a team when people can critique your work in a positive and constructive manner.
Right. That's definitely one of the tips I found. I was getting prepared for this blab session because, like we said earlier, we was getting prepared. Yeah. We just got prepared, and that's one of the tips I ran by was exactly that. It was matter of fact, let me look at it real quick. Go ahead. Let me look at it. I'm gonna read it specifically. My bad. Uh-oh. It was a great thing because like say for instance, you got more than one brain, right? You got more than one brain on a pretty much I'm gonna just give a rundown of it. You got more than one brain on a team, and you come together to work together, right? And we have these complications, but at the same time we can fix these problems a lot faster, right?
Absolutely.
I definitely noticed that.
Yeah. And then say for instance, you got somebody like me that I don't have the same musical background and history as every individual in the team, right? each of you
Yeah.
guys have knowledge that I've been able to learn, and I say, for instance, it's catapulted my knowledge of music further than it would have been if I was sitting around by myself trying to learn. And
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
specifically what I read, and you just said that too. And it's like that's some real stuff because I could say I could pinpoint what I learned from each individual that I wouldn't have even ventured off to learn yet because I was learning this little thing I had going on, and I was able to share
Yeah.
my
Absolutely.
information
Word.
also. Go ahead.
Yeah. Absolutely. Word. Absolutely. Word. Yeah. I mean, we're always educating ourselves, and I mean, Wax came up with a plan. He wants us to all learn together, as in, you know, the team does a course together. You
Yes.
know, whether it's, you know, either team led, one of us discusses specifically about, I don't know, myself with synthesis, with you know, modular synthesis, or someone discusses about mixing, someone discusses about rhythm, someone discusses about modulation.
I just read a book on EQs. I could have a discussion on
Yeah,
EQs,
exactly.
and
No,
I
exactly.
mean, it wouldn't be no spectacular thing, but it would be a refresher for a couple of guys, and then it was a
Exactly.
refresher for me. New information.
Exactly. So
Conceptual.
yeah, you know, those are the things. Yeah, no worries. So these are the ways that, you know, teams would work well together. You know, and as Sid mentioned, you know, sort of pulling your resources together towards, you know, educating one another, and then you grow in leaps and bounds. You grow quicker, and then when you've got
Right.
that positive criticism as well, and you know, the constant push of, you know, when things aren't going well, or you feel that, you know, something's not happening, or you've got, like we've mentioned before on previous hangouts, not necessarily blabs, but, you know, about beat block and how a team can sort of pull you through that. So yeah, it all works well, you know, without sounding
Definitely.
too cheesy. You know, a team becomes a well-oiled machine. You know, I know it's a bit of a cliche phrase, but it is. Each producer or each person in a team is a cog, and when they all function together, it works well. You know, and that's what we do.
Another good point about that is when you're in a team, you can focus on what you do good, and you don't have to so much focus on your negatives. And you would more or
Yeah, good
less want
point.
to avoid your negatives and the things that you do bad, and do the
Yes.
things that you do good, and bring that to the team. Right?
Exactly.
And that's another thing.
Exactly.
I mean, it's just a little.
Not only that, like the things that you do suck at, the team can help you get better at.
Yeah,
I've
absolutely.
been noticing that a lot too. You know?
That's right. Well, that's it. Totally. So yeah, you work to your strengths, not to your weaknesses. Yeah, I totally agree with that, and I think that's great. One thing that we've learned together as a team was Sip, for example. I mean, he started taking, you know, piano lessons and learning piano and learning how to play his keyboard, which before he never did, but now he's actually doing that. And his beats and melodies and things are coming on in leaps and bounds. You know, every day he's learning new stuff and he's doing it. But that's an example of a team sharing knowledge and pushing one another. And it's working really well. So, you know, that's great. And yeah, it ties in with everything that Wax was saying about getting educated together as a team. So yeah, that's a really big plus. You know,
And
that's
I would say another thing is like I would have never had time in my mind to sit down and actually try to learn piano in the midst of making beats because I could make beats without knowing how to play piano, right?
yeah.
That's possible. So in a teamwork environment, I'm able to make my beats, apply some time to learning the piano, apply some time to mixing and learning as a group at the same time. That's something that like say for instance, that's something that I wasn't able to do before. It was like because if I was gonna sit down and learn the piano, I must take a break from the beats for a second.
Yeah.
Piano, right?
Yeah.
Like that's really how people do it. And I had the opportunity to say, oh, I can do this and be doing this and apply it at the same time.
Yeah, totally. No, that's absolutely it. The beats always keep on going. It's like that's the advantage as well of how we're working because we're all in different time zones. So it's not we're in the same neighborhood where we start say 9 o'clock in the morning and, you know, so-called finish at 5. And then that's it for the day until 9 o'clock the next morning. No, because the fact that we're in different time zones allows us to be 24/7 working on artists and working on beats all the time. So we never stop. So there's always a flow of work going through. And like Stip says, that frees up individual producers' time as well to, you know, strengthen their weaknesses or focus on the strengths to do stuff. So yeah, that's, you know, one of the things that we've, you know, really worked out and solved, as in working in different time zones and it not being a problem for us to be in different time zones. So
not only that, let's talk about how it helps us branch out. You know, like we got 3 guys in the US, 1 guy over here in Canada, 1 guy in the US, UK. And already Vince, he has like a whole bunch of mixing jobs for us.
That's right, yeah.
When I get my studio up, I'm pretty sure there's going to be a whole lot of more work for us coming with the beats.
Right.
Absolutely. That's great because, as we've mentioned before in the very beginning, I think it was probably more of a private hangout, but when we mentioned it, but I know that we've mentioned the fact that we're so spread, it allows us to tap into different artists, different genres, and different cultures, you know, and bring them all together, creating that foreign sound, you know. So yeah, well, it's really great that we're working like this, and you know, I would encourage everybody to do it. And of course, you know, you have to get out there, you have to get on Blab, you have to get on Periscope, you have to get on Facebook, you have to get on the internet, on Hangouts. You know, that's how you meet people. That's how we met. I mean, we keep mentioning this, but Periscope was the clincher for us. This is how we all managed to get together.
Yep.
And it's fun, you know, the way that marketing's working now in terms of the usage of video, which really has come into its own this year on the internet. So yeah, that's really fantastic. You know, again, that's a solution to a problem that would have, you know, that we had a few years ago. We would never have met one another. You know, we all have a sort of a similar kind of way of thinking, and we're all driven in the same direction. That, you know, it just so happened that, you know, we all met on Periscope, you know, through Wax and stuff like that, and following, you know, scopes and things like that. So to start off with, we were already at an advantage as a team because we had the same kind of thinking. We were already going, okay, we'll go on Periscope to see what's happening. The same thing as when you find a team in your local neighborhood, or, you know, you go to a gig, a concert or something, and then you've got same-minded or similar thoughts going on with other guys that you team up with that eventually make a beat or a band. You know, this typically happens with, you know, rock musicians and things. They'll go to rock concerts and then they'll meet, you know, a drummer will meet a guitarist and a bass player at that concert and then make together some kind of team that becomes a band or something. So yeah, that's, you know, collective thought already in the same place, which is really good, you know, and that's allowed us to do it as the internet.
Definitely. It's been a great path so far. It's been a great path, and we've made a lot of leaps and bounds, and basically to keep on the lines of problems and solutions. I mean, like, I'll be honest, like we've been coming up with more solutions than problems as a group.
Absolutely.
Now, as an individual, I had more problems than solutions. I say it like that. Like,
yeah.
Maybe that helps some people understand.
I understand what you're saying.
I feel that though. It makes sense.
Yeah, I totally understand.
It totally makes sense.
Absolutely. Well, I don't have anything much more to say at the moment. I don't know if you want to talk about the website or anything, Wax. You know, how we're getting on with it and stuff. If you want to mention it to the public that we're working on it or something.
Yeah, website coming soon. Thank you.
Yeah, I guess that's what I said. Hey, just tell them about the website. Yeah.
I don't really brag too much.
Yeah, so beats and sample packs and all the goodies will be coming to you soon. So we're busy and hard working at that, you know, as well as working with some artists in the background and things. So yeah, stay tuned for that one, guys. That'll be up and running soon. And you know, we want you to subscribe to our emailing list as well, which we're trying to get up and running as soon as possible. Over on our Facebook page, on the iFSS Facebook page, there's a little button that says send an email. Just send us an email with your email address and we'll capture it. And as soon as we've got news about website and other hot stuff with new beats coming out and things like that, then we can email you back. It's still in its infancy, but yeah, we're trying to get that up and running. Again, that's one of the solutions that we're doing as a team.
And once we have a mailing list, we could go ahead and start forwarding information out.
That's it, exactly.
That's a great.
Join our YouTube channel. Go there and subscribe.
Yeah. Subscribe, follow us on Twitter.
Yes, follow us on Twitter. And what else we got?
And I say a lot of our information, I'm going to throw this out there. We're raw and uncut on a lot of videos. So you get the edits, you get the access, you get both sides.
All of our live stuff is really uncut. We don't really go through and chop nothing.
Exactly. That's the real us. That's what we are. We're doing it on the fly, you know, with the exception sort of today. We've just got points that we're just going through.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all real, all uncut. This is who we are. This is what we do. You know, no fancy jargon, no fancy rehearsed stuff, no pre-recorded, edited stuff. This is what we are. We're live, baby.
And we're better than we were yesterday. That's the only competition we got.
Oh, yeah.
Competition with ourselves. And we're better than we were yesterday.
Constant improvement. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to looking back at these blabs in 10 years' time and stuff and going, oh man, look how young we were. I had it.
Oh, Mick. Man,
stuff
you
like
just
that. Yeah, we'll be laughing.
I just aged about 40 years. Whoa. Let me go back to time.
That's it. Well, I'm out of stuff for today, guys. I don't know if you have anything else to add. Otherwise,
that's about it.
We're
going to try to have our show next week. We'll see how Tora is doing over in Houston if she has her power up. And if she can't schedule it for next weekend, we'll do it the next weekend after that. So it's going to come up, and just keep posted with us. If you're subscribed, you'll get a notice.
And I say share this with anybody you think it would be interested. Maybe you're not the person that's dealing with production and music related stuff, but maybe you know somebody that is, and they would be interested in this topic, and just share it, and they'll know what to do with it.
That's it. Share
Also, we are going to be recruiting again, but the doors are closed right now. We're just trying to get the foundation locked down. But when we do get it locked down and everything's solid, we are going to reopen the doors for recruitment. So if you do want a seat with us, you better subscribe and stick to us what's going on. Because then that's the only way you're going to know when the doors are open for recruitment. And we only could take a select few. So
that's it. I think it's going to be quick.
Subscribe, get your head in the door, man. And yeah, say hi, get to know us. If we get to know you, then we might even like you and just give you a seat when we get the door open. So.
Exactly. So hit us up on Twitter on at Infamous FSS and on Facebook at Infamous FSS. I think that's the page. YouTube channel. And yeah, just look for all the goodies out there on social media. We're around. Just search for Google if you need to.
Type in hashtag iFSS on Twitter.
Yeah,
on Facebook,
nice.
Type in Infamous Foreign Sound Society, all out with spaces in it. On let's see, on SoundCloud, you could just type in iFSS1 after SoundCloud.com, and pretty much on YouTube, you just type in Infamous Foreign Sound Society, and that's us. And if you reach us on any of those, we can definitely network with you and look forward to doing business. Boom.
We're very active in the blogs.
There we go.
That's the one.
We're very active in the blogs.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Okay,
all right,
man.
guys,
Take care.
Okay, me too.
All right.
Latest, guys. Same back channel, same time next week. Over and out.
Peace.